You're listening to the blondishnet podcast. I'm Niall Flores, and I'm your hostess. I cover topics like WordPress, blogging, social media, search engine optimization, and web design. I hope with this podcast that you'll be able to rock out your website like a rock star. So let's get it on. Thank you for tuning into the blondishnet podcast series. My name is Niall Flores, and you can follow me on the blog blondish.net. That's blondish.net, or on Twitter with the same blondishnet, and but no dot in between the H and the N. So this podcast episode is episode 2. And it's on what does it take to be a successful blogger? Well, honestly, it depends on what success means to you, as success is defined or decided upon differently from one person to the next. My goals to be successful might be different from yours. It might be just to make more money. It might be to get more followers. It could be to be more trusted in your niche. It could be to work for yourself. Maybe you're tired of your 9-to-5 job, or 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. job, or whatever type of job you have currently. But maybe you want to have a small level of success by blogging every day. Maybe you haven't been blogging much, and maybe blogging every day has just been a goal for you, and you find that more successful. Or maybe you're just willing, really, really, really wanting to get more comments and subscribers. There's a whole list. I could probably go on, and maybe some of these are on your list, and maybe you have a lot more to your list. That's purely up to you. You just need to decide on that. So in general, for majority of bloggers, I have a whole list of what it actually takes. The biggest thing is dedication and passion. Success really does not happen overnight. So you're going to be blogging for quite some time before you get some type of results from your blog. And this rings true for both online business and everything, because you're going to be building content, and people are going to either, search for something that's, what you're doing. Maybe you're selling some product, and people come upon your site. Maybe it's not exactly what they think it is. Maybe they fell upon your blog, and maybe your blog isn't really selling very well. But maybe months down the line, maybe you've improved, and that same person somehow ends up right back on your website, and that time around they decide to purchase with you. So it takes a lot of time. It takes passion for it. You have to really like what you're doing. If you're a handyman, or if you're a doctor, or if you're just regularly being a mommy blogger, you have to really like what you're doing. If you're not, then pretty much your blog is just gonna just go off the deep end and fade off into the sunset. So after dedication and passion, blog regularly. I'm not saying you have to be a blogging machine. You don't have to blog every day, but at least blog regularly. At least, if you're going to be doing any bare minimum, at least once a week. If you're going to do more than that, great. Another thing is you're going to engage with commentators or commenters, depending on however you like to say that, and your followers. You can't just blog and do nothing. Sometimes you're just going to have to interact. That's the purpose of a blog. You're putting out your content, and you're wanting people to interact with you. And if you're not doing that, then you're pretty much, you don't really have a purpose to your website. You're not really trying to attract them to where you want them to go. So, and really, the blog can be where you can create those diehard fans. So if you're not utilizing that tool, then pretty much you're just having people stop by and say, oh, well, okay, whatever. And maybe they'll be back, maybe they won't. Another thing that it takes to be more successful in as a blogger is the willingness to research those tougher topics and learn more to keep up in your niche. Almost every niche out there is evolving, even mommy bloggers too. There's always new toys or new products for children that are better than the past ones. That's just an example, but we see this in like tech, like with new gadgets and new technology. So you're going to have to keep on top of that. And sometimes you're just going to need to research, like do some keyword research to make sure you're tapping into more of the topics you should be covering, things that people want to see on your website. And that, even though that for some people they are writing for themselves and you're trying to get people's attention. So if you're trying to get people's attention, obviously you have to connect with them on some level. So if you're in a niche that you're trying to compete with other people and you're not a personal website, then you're probably going to have to tackle the topics that other people in your niche are tackling. And so you need to do that research so that you are aware of exactly what your competition is aware of. Another thing is to be willing to eventually invest in your blog in order to grow your blog, whether it's a new redesign in your brand, or it could be anything. You just need to, it could be more content writers. Say you've grown to a point where you're ready to expand into a team setting. Maybe you need to hire more content writers. You need to really think about that rather than just, okay, well, then I'm going to bring in guest bloggers. Well, sometimes that's not going to always work. You're going to want to, invest in people who, even if they're paid, they're going to do the job right and deliver content that really matters for you as well as your readers. So another thing is to keep true to yourself. If there's a certain way that your website is, and there are some people trying to tell you to do things in a different manner that may be immoral, don't do those. Keep to your morals and keep to your main ethics. Don't let other people sidetrack you from your core goals. If you're wanting to make more money, and you can at least get advice from people, but never let them tell you need to do this, you need to do that. Just get the advice, thank them, and use it however you want. But always keep true to yourself. Don't sell out to your readers by, for example, if you come on to opportunities for sponsored posts and you've decided to inundate your blog archives from back-to-back blog ads or all sorts of different products that really don't align with your blog's goals or even your goals, just because you want to make more money, you're selling yourself out. And some people will, especially your diehard fans, they'll call you out, especially if you've been in conversations with them that you've said, well, I'm never going to do this. Well, some people, they really will hold you to it. So just keep true to yourself. Your readers, especially your regular readers, are there because they like what you have to say. And you never want them to turn away from you, because they are the ones that are going to be happy to share something when you ask them to share something. So as I'm going through this and everything, I think that actually takes a really good chunk of what it takes to become successful as a blogger. I mean, again, ultimately you determine your success. So what are your goals to achieving your own success? I want you to think about those and leave a comment in the post that is with this question. I would love to hear about what your goals are. That being said, this is the end of this episode 2, blondishnet podcast. Thank you so much for listening in, and hope to see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to this blondishnet podcast episode. And once again, my name is Niall Flores. You can either like, comment, or even ask questions wherever this podcast is posted at. I'd be happy to answer them. If you're looking for WordPress design and development services, I actually specialize in designing and developing WordPress websites that convert, which means I can deliver a website that you can use in order to gain subscribers, social sharers, comments, and even buyers. So, in other words, I make sure you get a return on investment. So please seek me out at blondish.net. That's blondish.net. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next blondish.net podcast episode.